everybody, Aaron the Nintintrovert here. Welcome back to the channel. The day is finally here. Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac is officially out. This has been like legitimately probably my most anticipated game of 2025. Pac-Man World 2 on the GameCube was a childhood favorite of mine. I absolutely adored this game growing up. Yeah, if you know me, I'm just a huge 3D platformer buff, so games like this, games like uh, Mario 64, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, Jack and Daxter, SpongeBob, Battle for Bikini Bottom. This game right here, these are my bread and butter. I absolutely love this genre of games. And yeah, Pac-Man World 2 is a great one. We got an opening cutscene here. Let me adjust the volume here. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Then again, it might be okay where it's at. I'll put it right there. Hopefully that's good. But yeah, I've got a lot of nostalgia for this game. I first played this game. I was probably like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old maybe. I was pretty young. And the GameCube was like my first system that I ever actually owned myself. Like my older brother, he had a Super Nintendo and a Nintendo 64 and stuff like that that I would use growing up. But as far as one that my parents actually bought specifically for me, the GameCube was the first one. And Pac-Man World 2, as far as I can remember, was one of the very first games that I ever actually owned for it. So yeah, this opening cutscene here has a lot of fondness in my heart. It was pre-rendered in the original game, and this one is just kind of like running in engine. So graphically, the visuals look a lot nicer than the original one from back in the day. But the animations definitely look more stiff where it's not pre-rendered. So it's kind of a give and take. Some elements are better, some are not as good as the original cutscene. But yeah, full disclosure, I have played a little bit of this remake already. I've beaten like the first couple worlds on a separate file, and it's because I've been playing the game with my dad. I thought that while I was, that I'd have two concurrent files, one that I would be playing here on the channel, and then the other one playing with my dad because it was a game that he used to play with me when we were kids. My dad wasn't a child when I was a child. I'm not sure how that would even work. But when I was a kid, he would play it with me quite a bit and watch me play it and stuff. So yeah, it was a game that we kind of bonded over way back when. So yeah, he's been watching me play through the remake. So that's been kind of fun getting to relive the game again with him. Um, oh shoot, it's spooky. Pretty sure they changed his dialogue. I believe in the original version he said, "I am free from the confines of that infernal prison." Yeah, that's Spooky. He's the main antagonist of this game here. Not the most original name, but he's got kind of a cool design. We'll give him that. And yeah, the ghosts, they were just kind of messing around, took the golden fruit from the tree, and unbeknownst to them, awoke this demon that had been slumbering under the tree where it lay dormant all this time. Yes, thank you. Held at bay, but now he's free. I might actually need to turn the game volume down some. Let's see. One second. Music makes me so nostalgic. The music's been very faithfully remade as well. Like it's different. It's like a new rendition of the music, but it's very familiar. So I appreciate its faithfulness to it. Okay, I guess I gotta hit new game. It won't let me load an empty slot. Adventure mode. Let's do it. But yeah, hopefully the volume is good at where I have it now. But yeah, let's just get right into it.
I felt eyes on the back of my neck all last night.
I'll never get over the voice acting. Pac-Man was not fully voice acted in the original game. He was Pac-Man World 3. He was fully voice acted. And apparently they got the same voice actor from Pac-Man World 3 to do the voice for this Pac-Man World 2 remake. So I don't know, it's a little weird. It's kind of jarring if I'm being completely honest. And even in the gameplay, Pac-Man will kind of commentate a lot. Like when you eat a fruit, he'll always say like, tasty, yummy, and it kind of gets a little bit much. Like this ain't Candy Crush, Pac-Man. Shut up, please.
They did what?
Um,
They're always going
but
to
uh,
restart
but
the
yeah, on the
game.
whole, I would say it's still a very faithful remake. They did tweak some of the bosses, and I don't know how I feel about that. Honestly, I get why they did it, because in the original game, you know, pretty much three of the boss fights were just kind of like recycled. It was like mostly the same animations and stuff, the same attack patterns, but it just got slightly more difficult each time. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun fight, even if it was, I guess, a little bit repetitive. The way that they ramped up the difficulty, I never really felt like it was just, the same thing again and again and again. It always felt a little bit new and different each time. But I guess that was kind of due to time limitations. So this time they've actually taken the time to make each individual boss its own proper fight. So yeah, as far as I can tell, there's not um, none of those three bosses are remaining in the game. It would have been nice if at least one of them kind of remained the same with the same old attack patterns and everything I was familiar with. But other than that, the game looks great. It plays great. Um, so uh, so yeah,
I swear to defeat Spooky and restore peace to Pac-Man no
Pac-Man just
matter
he has the
what.
most
It's going to be
normal,
an
just like
unprecedented
basic
route.
white guy voice, and I can't get over that.
Excuse me.
It's so jarring.
Can't go adventuring
Um,
hungry. How about a quick snack?
It just sounds like on that SpongeBob episode where SpongeBob gets that VHS tape or whatever that teaches him how to be normal. Just, hi, how are you? Wonderful weather we're having. That's kind of just Pac-Man's voice in a nutshell. So I don't know. It's weird. They're spooky. When his eyes flash red like that, it reminds me of Queen Vanessa from A Hat in Time. Watch that series on the channel if you haven't already. That's a great indie 3D platformer that's evocative of GameCube era platformers like this one right here.
Here is Pac Village.
Yeah, we gotta talk to Professor Pack.
Remains of it. Everything was so peaceful until just yesterday. It pains my heart.
Where'd all these weird tree roots come from?
The roots of the wormwood tree that have stretched here
The
from
game did have a little bit of voice acting back on the GameCube. The Professor Pack here, he did speak, as did Spooky.
leaving it for
But Pac-Man and all the other characters were silent. But
As you can see, the
But yeah, I think the game looks really solid too. I was kind of worried, just like I don't know, based on the pre-release like trailers and stuff, I couldn't help but think that the game looked a
Where
little
did all the
bit
villagers go?
cheap, kind of low budget,
able to evacuate
Um,
safely.
and it kind of made sense why, like, okay, I guess I get why the game's only $30 because like they kind of,
At present,
maybe didn't put that much of a budget
the
into
only
it. But
way
actually, like having the game and playing it for myself without like the YouTube, you know, encryption or whatever.
Good luck. And tell everyone to
The game does look really, really solid. So yeah, that's not really a concern for me. I think the game very much looks like a modern, current gen take on Pac-Man World 2. Some of the textures, like the grass, maybe a little bit flat. Could maybe use a little bit more detail. But on the whole, I'm pretty content with it. I think it looks pretty nice. We're not going to bother exploring around Pac Village right now. There's really not a whole lot to see. Um, it's kind of our hub area in the game, but it kind of opens up as we beat each of the worlds. You're able to, access a little bit more of it. So we're not going to bother with it. We're just going to get right into the bare basics. The name of the first level here. The bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Yummy!
But yeah, here we are. Our first gameplay in Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac. It's taken us almost 10 minutes to get into the first level. This game's got a lot of cutscenes. But you know what? That is A-okay. One new thing they added is that every level has a mission structure. So if I go here, we can look at the missions. Clear the stage, attain a high score of 10,000 or higher, and collect all the fruits. Yeah, if you complete all of the missions in a given level, then you will unlock a new costume for Pac-Man that you can change into. So it's kind of a nice little added replay value that was not there in the original. And Yeah, now the costumes aren't anything particularly amazing. You know, there's one for every level that you can unlock, but all of the costumes in a given world are just different color variations of the same costume. So, like, in one of the worlds, you get like a cowboy Pac-Man, where it's got maybe like a red cowboy hat or something. And then, like, the second level in World 2, you unlock, you know, it's the same costume, but now it's a green cowboy hat, or now it's a blue cowboy hat. So it's kind of, you know, it's really not that much variety. Again, though, for just the purpose of completionists' sakes, it is kind of nice having that. I always like this in the original game, just kind of the visual flair when you would grab one of these. I don't even know what you'd call it, just this chain of pack dots linked together that just kind of causes him to go soaring off somewhere. These weird looking freakish bear dudes. And here's a new mechanic to reach higher heights. I can get some of those fruits there. So you could always do this butt bounce move, which is essentially a ground pound, just by pressing the jump button when you're in the air. But in this remake, you want to try to press it at the very apex of your jumps. You'll notice when you jump, there is a yellow circle around Pac-Man that gradually like shrinks down. So once it's pretty much lined up perfectly with his body, then you hit the jump button again, and he will do like an extra high bounce that gets you more height, and it also has kind of a shock radius that will take out nearby enemies. So you can see this is just the regular bounce here, and this is the big bounce. Also, in the original game, you could do a jump and do this kick move. I believe Pac-Man even has this move in Smash Brothers. But you couldn't do it on the ground like this. But yeah, they've added this new kind of melee attack for Pac-Man where he can just do this kick flip into enemies on the ground, which is kind of nice. And also, this is returning from Pac-Man World 1. You can charge up and throw a Pac Dot as you pick them up along the map, and you can use those to kill enemies. I don't believe they work on these ghosts here, but yes, you have a projectile attack as well that, for whatever reason, was present in the original Pac-Man world, but was not a thing in the sequel. It being here, to me, that doesn't really add or take away anything from the game. I kind of tend to just forget about it. And I think kind of the purist in me kind of wants to play the game for the most part as the developers originally intended. So I tend to not really use that move, but it's kind of neat that it's there. You know, that they did bring it back after all this time. Yeah, oh, and also, Pac-Man has a little hover move, very similar to Yoshi's Flutter Jump. And this was not in the original Pac-Man World or Pac-Man World 2. However, it was in the Pac-Man World Re-Pac, the remake of the first game that came out a few years ago, and so now they've retroactively added it to this one. So yeah, Pac-Man is a lot more versatile now than he ever was before, with a bunch of new moves under his belt, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I was a little bit worried that it would break the game and make it maybe a little too easy. But so far, from what I've played of it, I wouldn't say that's necessarily the case. It still offers a pretty decent challenge, and some they have kind of tweaked the level design a little bit to accommodate for that. And now here we have this item that makes Pac-Man turn metal, and yeah, admittedly, this is kind of ripped off pretty much straight from Super Mario 64. Where you would get the metal cap, and then you would be more heavy, and you can walk along the bottom of the ocean floor. Pretty much the exact same mechanic there. You know, it'll also make you invulnerable to certain types of attacks, like it did in Mario 64. So, like, these bear traps won't pose a challenge for us. I'll be honest, I could be misremembering, but I don't think that those bear traps were actually in the original game. I could be wrong, because it has been a hot minute, I'm not going to lie. Oh, there's the thing. Got it. Okay, I think we got everything, right? Yes, we did. Now, I don't know if this is necessarily going to be a 100% playthrough of the game or not. At the very least, we're going to go through all 6 worlds and beat the game. But from what I've heard, this game apparently does have a very substantial post game. So that's pretty cool. So evidently, after we beat the final boss, typically that's where the game would end on GameCube. But apparently now there's even harder versions of bosses that you can do, and I think maybe even like a secret like post game final boss. So that's pretty cool. I don't know what all that entails, but I'm excited to see what all that's about. But yeah, we're gonna go on to level 2, Canyon Chaos. I'm gonna take a sip of my liquids. Oh yeah, that's good liquids. Yeah, again, the music is just so nostalgic for me. And I kind of did wish that the game would have like the option to where you could listen to the original renditions of these songs if you wanted to. But honestly, it doesn't bother me too much that it's not there because the remix music is so faithful to the original that you know it feels right at home. Um, so I don't really feel like I'm necessarily missing out too much by not having that original music. I don't know if there's anything we need down here. I want to say, if I remember, where again I did play a little bit of this game already on a separate file. I think one of the missions is to destroy all of these bear traps. So let's see. Yes. Kill. And for one of the missions, we've got to do... a lot of levels have it where you have to replay it. Excuse me. To complete the level's time trial mode and get at least a bronze medal doing the time trials. I've never been a big fan of that in games. I don't really care for like score attack or time attack modes that much, so I don't know that we'll necessarily bother to do those and get all the missions and costumes on this playthrough. We'll see. I guess it depends on how many views this series gets, so let me know in the comments if you want to see me 100% complete this game and get everything that there is to do. I definitely plan to 100% it on my own time, on my own file. That hitbox is very weird. It's so easy to get like caught on this tree. I don't know what the deal is with that. Let's take out these traps here. Hey world, I like Daphne and traps. Alright. I think that's all of them. I better turn down the game audio a little bit just to make sure we don't get any double audio. I think we're good there. Come on, I need a high jump. There we go. It's a little tricky to time that, to be completely honest. Alright, let's activate that number 2 switch. Aw, here we go. We're flying again. You can kind of steer Pac-Man. You can rotate him around clockwise or counterclockwise while he's eating these dots. I guess that makes it a little bit more engaging. I don't know. It's kind of a cute little detail, I guess. It kind of reminds me of how they added something similar to Spyro Reignited Trilogy when you're on the loading screens while Spyro's flying around. Something I want to point out real quick here. This is where the new moves do come in handy, because in the original version, so you're fighting this guy on this tiny platform, and the only way to kill him was by charging up into him, which takes a minute to charge up. It kind of leaves you vulnerable for a bit, and it's very easy to, in the original game, there was a lot of knockback, so when you rolled into him, then you would have a decent chance of getting knocked right off the platform, so it was very annoying. So it's kind of nice having that, those couple of options to do melee attacks, so that way you don't have to risk getting knocked off the edge. So that's nice. Break these crates here, because you know I'm all about that crate. Gotta inject just a little bit of just a healthy little dose of cringe into every one of my videos here. Sorry, not sorry. All right, let's see if we can get up here. Nice. That's all the apples. Ow. Let's eat me some ghosts. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. So, does that make Pac-Man a cannibal? I don't know. Like, Pac-Man's not a ghost himself, but I mean, when you really get down to it, right? When you really think about it, are we not all ghosts on the inside, right? We're just spirits with flesh and bone. So, you know, if we eat ghosts, I mean, are we not eating our own kind, essentially? I don't know. Maybe ghosts are of a different species. Maybe when they were alive, they weren't pack people. Or maybe they were never dead to begin with. Maybe they're just like spirits that are just like, just have always existed and never had a body. I don't know. I don't know the pack lore. You think I know these things? You think I was paying attention when friggin' Professor Pac was giving us that backstory about Sir Pac-a-Lot and the stupid whatever events that we don't care about? No, nobody plays Pac-Man for the lore. Except for maybe, I don't know, psychopaths. I mean, I'm kind of a psychopath, so maybe I do play it for the lore. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, I think we got everything. I think our last collectible is right through here. I wanted to make sure, because once we grab this shrinky thingy, then we're not really going to be able to get back. Yeah, take out these guys. Alright. Put my melons in the melon hole. Not really sure what that's supposed to mean. Sounds kind of wrong out of context. Sounds pretty wrong in context, too. But we did it. We finished the level. Gotta give the wink and the thumbs up, just like Pac-Man. Look at him. I would take a bullet for that yellow circle. I love him. We did destroy all the bear traps. Oh, no. Oh, God. They warned me this would happen. Ah, well. I'm not that... I ain't too worried about it. Let's just keep going. Man, bear traps... They would be like such a nightmare to get, like to step into one of those old bear traps that just metal teeth come out and just... I think from what I've read, those are like illegal nowadays. Those are like banned, at least in the U.S., and I imagine probably most other countries as well. Not just because of like animal cruelty, but I mean like people cruelty too. I mean, if somebody wanders into one of those, like, you're probably going to lose that leg, and even if not, you're going to experience lots of agony and suffering until you're able to get free, so... Just, like, clamping down all the way, like, to the bone, like, ugh. Ugh. Yuck. Yucky. Icky poo. No, thank you. Yuck. Ow. See, like that right there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Alright. Let's hop up here. Butt bounce on that. We got a little rainbow. She did a pretty rainbow. I don't know what that accent was. I just did. It was like somewhere between like Italian and Indian. I don't really know. But anyway, let's get up here. Yeah, again, they really force you to use that new super butt bounce move, or whatever they call it. I don't know what the actual technical scientific name for it is. But yeah, you definitely have to use it to reach certain heights to get some items that you couldn't get before. So that's interesting. And then here you have to use Pac-Man's Rev Roll move to move these platforms. This is a move that's carried over from the first game. That's used in even more interesting ways in this one. Very similar to Sonic's Spin Dash move. If you've played any Sonic game, it's more or less the same thing. Alright, let's take this thing out. Another one of these big bears. I don't think they had those, like, skulls that they wore on their head as a helmet in the original, so that's kind of a cool thing. Otherwise, they look pretty faithful to their original design, i.e. very derpy. But I wouldn't want it any other way, because they were just as derpy in the original. to go that way yet, because we still have other stuff to do in this area. So we hit that one. It took me forever on my other file to realize that there was a button behind that waterfall. It's very hard to see it. It's a very opaque waterfall. I think that's the right word. Opaque meaning like not translucent. But anyway, let's break all these boxes here. New maze unlocked. So yeah, you find these little Galaxian icons, which Galaxian, that was the name of another old Namco arcade that I believe predates Pac-Man. It was like one of those old shooters. I believe it was before Galaga, but it's a similar space shooter kind of. I want to say, I've never actually played it myself, but I want to say it's kind of a clone of Space Invaders, more or less. And yeah, but whenever you grab that icon, there's one hidden in most levels, and it'll unlock a traditional Pac-Man like maze level for you to do, like you know, like one of the arcade games or something. So that's kind of neat. In the original game, it would just throw you straight into one of those classic Pac-Man mazes. But in this one, you actually access it separately by going to the arcade, which is in the hub area, the Pac Village. Okay, let's get our metal again. This level, you really have to test your metal. Haha, you see what I did there? Oh, I'm so punny, I deserve a medal. Haha, zing, double whammy. Oh, ayo. Alright, let's, can we bounce this before it goes back to orbit? Yes! Okay. Oh, there's still another fishy we didn't kill. I think for this level, we have to kill all the enemies is one of the objectives here. So let's take these guys out to the ball game, buy them some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just like to say things sometimes. Okay, now, can I grab that now? There we go. Alright, come on, Pac-Man. We gotta squeeze in here into this little hole while we're tiny. Get this giant melon. If there's one thing Pac-Man likes, it's a woman with giant melons. Anyway. I do like how they give more of a use to that shrinking item, because that was in the original, but it only showed up in like maybe 2 levels, and it had pretty much no functionality. You would just like shrink down and then go in a hole, and then it would be like the end of the level or something. So this one, they actually make it a little bit more purposeful, so I think that's kind of neat. Because yeah, it did just kind of feel like a pointless mechanic in the original. But now it feels a little bit more akin to, like, say, the mini mushroom from the new Super Mario Brothers games or something. Let's crush that guy. Crush this guy. Take this. And kill that guy. Don't believe we need to kill all the bear traps in this level, so we'll just ignore it. Oh, dear. Oh, yeah. Get in my belly. I am Pac-Man, hear me roar. And I do think this is neat. I like how he transforms into this giant, like, classic pizza slice Pac-Man, reminiscent of the arcade games. In the original version, he did not do that. He would just, if you hit a power pellet, he would just start glowing. But otherwise, he would look the exact same, and then all the ghosts would turn blue, and you could eat them. But yeah, seeing him turn into a giant, classic Pac-Man, I think is pretty appropriate, and I like it. Alright, kill, I believe we've gotten everything here, so let's grab the magic laughing cow cheese here. Nice. Gotta do the classic wink and a thumbs up. God, I love Pac-Man so much. I would sacrifice my firstborn for that man. We got the cheese wheel. And we got a silver Pac-Man. Alright. Now, all that's left is the boss fight, and then we'll be all done with the first world. And I believe that is where we will end the this first episode. So, yeah, let's do it. Clyde's Frog. So, fun fact: in the original Pac-Man arcade game from like 1980, you've got the 4 different colored ghosts, and their names are Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde. Um, so this orange one here is Clyde, and the red one is Blinky. However, in Pac-Man World 2, the original version of this game on the GameCube, they actually got the two mixed up for some reason. I don't know if whoever programmed their names was like colorblind and couldn't tell the difference between red and orange or what. But yeah, the name of this level was Blinky's Killer Frog, and then when we get to World 4 and we fight the Red Ghost, the name of that boss fight was Clyde in the Caldera. Um, but yeah, this one they fixed the names, so it's kind of confusing. I still get confused myself with which one's Blinky and which one's Clyde, because this was like one of, if not my first Pac-Man game growing up. But yeah, they did fix that in the remake. So Blinky is no longer mistakenly called Clyde, and Clyde is no longer mistakenly called Blinky. The more you know. So all we have to do here, we just got a ground pound on his wooden tongue. Or he can also take himself out if we can lure him into grabbing one of those barrel TNT guys, which were not in the boss fight originally. They are like new to this game, which I think is very interesting. They kind of reworked all of the bosses to kind of give them like extra attack patterns and just in general make it a little bit more difficult. So now what we've got to do, we're at the halfway point, and he's going to power up here. And he's going to attack us with a metal tongue instead of a wooden one, so we're not going to be able to butt bounce on it to break it. Instead, we have to use the rev roll move where we charge up and then pew and launch into his uvula, and yeah, defeat him that way, destroying the old esophagus. Um, but yeah, that's how it was in the original as well. But it plays out a little differently here. Compared to the original, you can find like comparison videos on YouTube of how the boss fight is different, but for the most part, it feels decently faithful to the original. Still got this giant frog that attacks with his tongue and everything. All the other bosses after this one, though, very different. That shockwave is also new. It's just another change that they made to make the boss fights more difficult, which is interesting. But yeah, I don't know. So I don't mind the changes they made to this one, but it's all the other ones that are completely different from how they were in the original game, and that kind of does bother me a little bit. Even though I think most people do like the changes, for me personally, I preferred the original. Okay, here we go. Now we can charge up and hit his tongue, which, to be fair, I've not done all the bosses yet. I've only done Blinky after this one, the Blue Ghost. But yeah, I may end up loving the other ones more than the original, but I don't know. I highly doubt it. And as we get to it, I'll explain like what they changed that is so different about the other boss fights. But we're not there yet, so there's not really any point talking about it right now. Let's charge up, hit his throat. Got a bit of a throat in his frog. See, instead of a frog in his throat, he's a frog. And the frog has a so see what I'm saying, what I'm getting at here. See, never mind, just forget it. My comedy isn't appreciated in its time. All right, let's take him out. Got him. Bada bing, bada bam. He is dead. He's already dead because he's a ghost. You can't kill what's already dead. You also can't kill Disco, but we did it. We beat him. I like that little effect there. That's kind of cute. When you blow up the mech, you can see the ghost turn into the little pair of googly eyes and run away like in the arcade game. But we did it. We rescued the golden cherries, and we unlocked a new arcade game. We can play the original Pac-Man arcade game. So that's fun. But yeah, that's a wrap on the first world. Let's see if we have any new cutscenes or anything. There it is. Put it on the tree. Oh yeah. That's what Daddy likes to see. Gets rid of some of those evil roots that have taken, well, root. Also revive some of the trees. There's the arcade Pac-Man game we can play. I'm honestly really proud of Namco. I'm very happy that they put these arcade games in. So we've got more we can unlock by doing some more of the worlds here. And looks like there are only 3 of them. Yeah, I was kind of worried they would get rid of them like entirely. Because I believe there was 4 or 5 in the original Pac-Man World 2 back on the GameCube. So you've got this one here, you've got Pac-Mania, which is a lot of fun. That's actually what this one here is that you unlock after doing the second world. And then I'm not actually sure what this one is. Maybe Pac-Attack, which was like this little puzzle game that's kind of somewhat of a Tetris clone. Because that was a thing in the original version of the game. I'm pretty certain that Miss Pac-Man is not in this collection here, which is understandable because there's a lot of like legal rights issues where Namco doesn't actually own the rights to Miss Pac-Man anymore. It's kind of a whole mess. But right now what we're going to do before we end off the episode, we're going to play these 2 mazes here in Paradise Meadows. These are what we unlocked by finding the Galaxian in the 2nd and 3rd levels. So we're going to do that. And yeah. So yeah, this was also a thing in the original game that I think is kind of fun. Just that you unlock these very classic, very traditional little mazes, and want to try to beat them, and you can try to get rack up as high of a score as you can get and everything. So yeah, these guys come out of the base really quickly, so I think the best strategy to get a lot of points is just kind of camp out in front of it, to be completely honest. Which, yeah, like even like if they go in blue, they come back out still being blue, so it's very interesting. In other games, it's not quite this easy to rack up such a high combo, but you can in this one. Oh, shoot. Never take me alive, coppers. Meh. Good thing there's some invisibility frames when you're going through that little portal there. I don't have any more power pellets, so that's a little scary. We do get 3 lives, though, so if we get killed here, we'll probably still be okay. Oh, yeah, we got it. No deaths. 0 death, no damage. Nice. Alright, kill. So we cleared the first one. And as we go on, some of them do get quite a bit harder. They start throwing in, like, stage hazards you have to avoid while also avoiding the ghosts. That makes it kind of extra difficult, which I don't believe were there in the original. So that's kind of interesting that they added that. Look at Pac-Man. Look at my boy walking, strutting his stuff there. I love him so much. Yeah, this one you can see actually has bear traps for us to avoid. You can use Pac-Man's Rev Roll move here to bypass it, to go really quickly. Or you can destroy him by being Giant Pac-Man here. But yeah, otherwise you do not want to just walk over the bear trap because it will kill you. And as we all know, dying is not particularly fun. I'm just gonna say it. Death is pretty overrated, I am not gonna lie. It insists upon itself, Lois. See, I'm not as concerned on this one with racking up a high score. I'm just kind of trying to take out all these stupid little bear traps because it's easy to die a lot if you don't. Oh dear. I kind of wish you teleported over to the other side a little bit more quickly. It takes just a little bit longer than I would like. But that's okay, I suppose. Okay, so far so good. Oh, you stay away from me. Hands off my purse, I don't know you. Don't touch my no-no square. Wait a minute, Pac-Man doesn't have a no-no square. He's a circle. Freaking geometry. Alright, we did it. We did die once, but that's okay. Still not too bad. Alright, so we've done the 2 mazes for this world. I guess we could play a little bit of the old classic arcade machine. Why not? We unlocked some new gachapon. You got these little figurines that you can, try to collect them all by spending these tokens that you get from playing that you find them in levels, and you also get them from doing the little mazes like we just did. We'll open a couple. We got a crate. Well, isn't that just great? We'll open like 2 more. Alright, that's enough of that. Alright, let's wrap this up by playing a quick game of the classic Pac-Man. Hopefully it won't crash on me. Earlier I played Pac-Mania, which is another game included here in the arcade, and it caused the game to crash, so that was not particularly fun. Now, this probably won't take too long. I'm not that great at the OG Pac-Man, so we will probably game over relatively quickly. Probably on like this. Oh god. Probably on like the second or third stage. There is a pattern. I don't know it, to be completely honest. So I don't know the best strategy. I think the red ghost just constantly pursues you. The orange ghost is, I think, kind of stupid and will go, like, kind of just wherever. Kind of opposite of your direction. But then blue and pink, I really don't know what their pattern is. If I took the time to learn the pattern, which probably would not take very long, I would probably be a lot better at the original Pac-Man, but I just never really took the time to learn it. I've always been more of a fan of Miss Pac-Man, but particularly because in a lot of versions of Miss Pac-Man, you were faster than the ghosts, so you could outrun them just as long as they don't corner you. You know, if you've got like 2 of them that pin you in from the opposite sides. Whereas in this game, you know, if one of them's following directly behind you, it will eventually catch up to you unless you're able to juke it somehow and cause it to go the other way. But again, unfortunately, there's a lot of legal issues with Miss Pac-Man. I really wish Namco would just bite the bullet and just buy out the rights to just reclaim full ownership again of Miss Pac-Man. I'd love some modern, retro collections. It's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it? Modern retro collections. It's kind of... but anyway, but yeah, some compilations, like, say, on the Nintendo Switch to be able to play Miss Pac-Man. That would be pretty cool. You can get it on the PlayStation... excuse me. On the... Oh, we turned around. Well, we didn't even finish the second level. Oh, wait, no, we got a... I think we... Okay, yeah, we got an extra life because we got over 10,000. So we will make it to the 3rd level, probably, maybe. Yes. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know. Alright. Round 3. Also, it's the same maze every time, so that gets kind of a little repetitive, a little boring. Whereas Miss Pac-Man actually changes it up every couple levels, which I do think is nice. The only difference is that the fruit that sometimes spawns in the middle here will be a different fruit, and you get more points on it based on the further you made it. But yeah, apparently there's people that are so good that they can last, I think in total there's like 256 rounds, and then the game kind of glitches because they never anticipated anybody to make it that far, so you get to the, I believe it's referred to as the kill zone, which is just impossible to clear. Nice. But yeah, I'm not nearly anywhere good enough to make it that far. But that's the OG Pac-Man. That was a fun little diversion from the main game. But yeah, I'm really proud of Namco that they put that in there. that you can still play these old arcade games, even if unfortunately Miss Pac-Man couldn't be there. She's been replaced by Pac-Mom. Pac-Man's so unfaithful. I can't believe he would leave Miss Pac-Man for freaking Pac-Mom. And Junior Pac-Man for Pac-Boy, I think he's called. Something stupid like that. But But yeah, because like Namco, they've got other compilations on the eShop that you can buy, like Namco Museum, Pac-Man Museum, that have these old arcade games in them. So that's why I didn't think they'd put them in this, because it's like, well, that kind of takes away an opportunity for them to sell them to people separately. But I think it's really, really great that they've got them in here. But anyway, guys, I do believe that's going to be a wrap for this first episode of Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac. Thank you so very much for joining me on this adventure. Next time, we will be going into Bedoing Woods. Yes, that's the actual name of it. In World 2 here, the treetops, this forested area. And it's a really fun one. It's definitely got some of my favorite levels from the whole game that I have a lot of nostalgia of from the original. So look forward to that. But that's going to be a wrap for this video. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Please consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later. Bye-bye. Waka 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 waka.